Have you ever submitted a state application and found yourself waiting endlessly for a response? You're not alone. Many people experience delays or even get stuck in the process, unsure of what went wrong. In this video, we'll explore the most common reasons why state applications get held up, from missing documents to technical glitches. Understanding these pitfalls can help you avoid unnecessary frustration and keep your application moving forward. Let's dive into the key issues that often cause state applications to stall and see what you can do to prevent them. One of the most frequent reasons state applications get stuck is missing required documents. State agencies often need specific paperwork to verify your identity, eligibility, or other important details. If even one document is missing or incomplete, your application might be put on hold until you provide what's needed. This can include things like proof of residency, identification, or supporting forms. Always double-check the list of required documents before submitting your application to avoid unnecessary delays. Another common issue is incomplete application forms. Sometimes, applicants overlook certain sections or leave questions unanswered, thinking they're not relevant. However, state systems often require every field to be filled out, even if it's just to indicate not applicable. Incomplete forms can trigger automatic holds or require manual review, both of which slow down the process. Take your time to review every section and ensure all information is provided before submitting. Providing incorrect information, whether by mistake or misunderstanding, is another reason applications can get stuck. This might include wrong dates, misspelled names, or inaccurate addresses. State agencies often cross-check your details with other databases, and any discrepancies can cause your application to be flagged for further review. Double-check all your entries for accuracy to minimize the risk of delays due to errors. Identity verification is a crucial step in most state application processes. If the agency can't verify your identity using the information you provided, your application may be paused. This can happen if your ID is expired, your name doesn't match official records, or supporting documents are unclear. To avoid this, make sure your identification documents are current and clearly legible, and that all names and details match exactly as they appear on your official records. Sometimes, the problem isn't with your application at all, but with the state's online system. Technical glitches, such as website outages, server errors, or system crashes, can cause applications to be lost, duplicated, or stuck in processing. If you suspect a technical issue, it's a good idea to save copies of your application and any confirmation numbers. Contacting technical support or the agency directly can help resolve these issues more quickly. During certain times of the year, or after new programs are announced, state agencies can be overwhelmed by a high volume of applications. This surge can slow down processing times, even if your application is perfect. While you can't control the volume, submitting your application early and being patient can help. Agencies often process applications in the order received, so getting in early can make a difference. Many state applications require background checks, especially for jobs, licenses, or benefits. If your background check is delayed, perhaps due to incomplete information or backlog at the agency, your application will be held up until the check is complete. Providing all necessary details and authorizations up front can help speed up this process. Sometimes, after reviewing your application, the agency may request additional information or clarification. Until you respond, your application will remain on hold. It's important to check your email or mail regularly for any requests from the agency and respond promptly. This can help keep your application moving and prevent unnecessary delays. If your application requires a fee and there's a problem with your payment, such as an expired card, insufficient funds, or a failed transaction, your application may not be processed. Always verify your payment method and ensure you receive a confirmation of payment. If you're unsure, contact the agency to confirm your payment went through. Sometimes, applications get stuck because the agency is unsure if you meet eligibility requirements. This can happen if your situation is unusual or if your documentation doesn't clearly demonstrate eligibility. In these cases, the agency may need to conduct further review or request more information. Providing clear, thorough documentation and explanations can help resolve these uncertainties. Automated systems handle many state applications, but if your application triggers a flag such as inconsistent information or unusual circumstances, it may be sent for manual review. Manual reviews take longer because a staff member must examine your case in detail. While you can't always avoid this, ensuring your application is complete and accurate can reduce the chances of being flagged. Sometimes, the instructions provided by the state agency are unclear or confusing. This can lead to mistakes or omissions in your application, causing it to get stuck. If you're unsure about any part of the process, don't hesitate to reach out to the agency for clarification before submitting. Clear understanding can prevent unnecessary errors and delays. Using outdated application forms is another common reason for delays. State agencies periodically update their forms to reflect new requirements or regulations. Submitting an old version can result in your application being rejected or delayed. Always download the latest version of the form from the official website before filling it out. Supporting documents like IDs, licenses, or certificates must usually be current. Submitting expired documents can cause your application to be put on hold until you provide valid replacements. Always check the expiration dates on all your documents before including them with your application. If your name appears differently on various documents, such as a maiden name on one and a married name on another, your application may be flagged for further review. Name mismatches can cause confusion and delays, so it's important to provide documentation that explains any differences, such as a marriage certificate or legal name change document. Address discrepancies between your application and supporting documents can also cause delays. For example, if your driver's license lists a different address than your utility bill, the agency may need to verify which is correct. Make sure all your documents reflect your current address, or provide an explanation if there are differences. Some applications, especially for jobs or licenses, require references. If your references don't respond to verification requests, your application may be delayed. Let your references know in advance that they might be contacted and provide their most up-to-date contact information to the agency. If you have unresolved legal or criminal issues, your application may be held up for further investigation. Some state applications require background checks or legal clearances, and any red flags can cause delays. If you know there may be issues, be proactive in providing explanations or documentation to help the agency process your application. If you have an appeal or dispute pending with the state agency, your new application may be put on hold until the previous issue is resolved. This is common in cases involving benefits or licensing. If you're in this situation, check the status of your appeal and communicate with the agency to understand how it affects your new application. Sometimes, the agency itself is simply overwhelmed with work. Staffing shortages, budget cuts, or unexpected surges in demand can create backlogs that slow down processing for everyone. While you can't control these factors, being aware of them can help set realistic expectations for how long your application may take. Occasionally, state policies or regulations change while your application is being processed. This can result in additional requirements, new forms, or even a temporary halt in processing as agencies update their systems. Stay informed about any policy changes that might affect your application and be ready to provide new information if requested. Though rare, applications can sometimes be lost or misplaced by the agency, especially if submitted by mail. If you haven't received confirmation of receipt, follow up with the agency to ensure your application was received and is being processed. Keeping copies of all documents and correspondence is always a good practice. If you submit your application or supporting documents by mail, postal delays can slow down the process. This is especially true during holidays or in areas with unreliable mail service. Whenever possible, use tracked or certified mail and allow extra time for delivery. If your scanned or photocopied documents are unclear or illegible, the agency may not be able to process them. This can result in requests for resubmission and additional delays. Always ensure your documents are clear, readable, and properly formatted before submitting. Submitting the wrong type of application or applying for the wrong program can result in your application being rejected or delayed. Carefully review the eligibility criteria and application types before starting to ensure you're applying for the correct program. Submitting multiple applications for the same program can confuse the system and cause delays. Some agencies may even reject all duplicate submissions. If you need to make changes, contact the agency instead of submitting a new application. Some applications require you to meet certain prerequisites, such as completing a training course or obtaining a prior certification. If you haven't met these requirements, your application will be put on hold until you do. Make sure you've completed all necessary steps before applying. Some applications require verification from third parties, such as employers, schools, or other agencies. If these third parties are slow to respond, your application may be delayed. Follow up with them to ensure they provide the necessary information promptly. Missing or unclear signatures can cause your application to be rejected or delayed. Make sure all required signatures are present, clear, and match the names on your documents. Electronic signatures should meet the agency's requirements. It may sound simple, but sometimes applications are started but never actually submitted. Always check for a confirmation message or email to ensure your application was received. If you don't get confirmation, log into the portal or contact the agency to verify. State agencies periodically perform system maintenance, which can temporarily halt application processing. If you submit during a maintenance window, your application may not be processed until the system is back online. Check for maintenance notices on the agency's website before submitting. If you or someone else withdraws your application intentionally or by mistake, it will no longer be processed. Always double check before confirming a withdrawal, and contact the agency immediately if you believe your application was withdrawn in error. State agencies use fraud prevention systems to detect suspicious activity. If your application triggers a fraud alert, such as unusual patterns or mismatched information, it may be held for further investigation. Providing accurate, consistent information and responding to any verification requests can help clear these holds. Some applications require an interview as part of the process. If you miss the scheduled interview or fail to respond to scheduling requests, your application will be delayed. Always check your messages and respond promptly to interview invitations. For certain programs, a medical or health check is required. If your check is pending or results are delayed, your application will be on hold until the process is complete. Schedule any required appointments as soon as possible and submit results promptly. Some applications require test results, such as language proficiency or licensing exams. If your results haven't been received by the agency, your application will be delayed. Arrange for results to be sent directly to the agency and follow up if there are any issues. If you've requested a fee waiver, your application may be held until the waiver is approved. This process can take extra time, so be prepared for a possible delay. Provide all required documentation for the waiver to speed up the process. For minors or certain programs, parental or guardian consent may be required. If this consent is missing or incomplete, your application will be delayed. Make sure all required signatures and forms are included before submitting. Many state applications require proof of residency. If your documents don't clearly establish your residency, or if there's a discrepancy, your application may be delayed. Provide clear, current documents such as utility bills or leases to verify your address. For some programs, your immigration status must be verified. If there are delays in verification due to missing documents or agency backlogs, your application will be on hold. Submit all required immigration documents and follow up if you haven't heard back. Some state benefits require verification of child support payments or obligations. If this verification is pending, your application may be delayed. Provide all necessary documentation and respond to any requests from the agency promptly. For disability-related benefits, verification of your disability status is required. If your medical records or supporting documents are incomplete, your application will be delayed. Work with your healthcare provider to ensure all necessary paperwork is submitted. Income verification is required for many state programs. If your income documents are missing, unclear, or inconsistent, your application may be delayed. Provide recent pay stubs, tax returns, or other proof of income to avoid holds. As we've seen, there are many reasons why state applications can get stuck, from missing documents to technical issues and verification delays. The best way to avoid these problems is to carefully review all requirements, provide complete and accurate information, and respond promptly to any requests from the agency. By staying organized and proactive, you can help ensure your application moves through the process as smoothly as possible. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your application.